Sakurajima on twitch.tv/homohomo2093 is brought to you by the Bedlam on Vault Capital. There's always something going on there. The misadventures is next, right around the world on twitch.tv/homohomo2093. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. You're tuned in to the Misadventures on twitch.tv/homohomo2093. This is a YouTube-only exclusive episode. The Misadventures of Mai Sakurajima, the bunny girl professional, and it's nothing personal. As you can see, this episode will focus on the Four Lords. And the gameplay for the trials and dungeons pertaining to the Four Lords have already been cleared pre-stream, and the extreme versions of the trials have already been unlocked. In the case Mai wants to go ahead and pursue the legendary Stormblood Cube Fox Mount. That will be for some other time in the future. In this episode, Mai is going to be showing you some of the cutscenes from the Four Lords in its entirety. And if there is no voiceover dialogue, I will be stepping in and doing voice dubbing for all the characters involved in the cutscenes of the Four Lords. And also, I'm gonna take a tour inside the staging area for the Four Lords inside the Ruby Sea, so you can see what's going on. If you like what you see on this YouTube episode, hit the subscribe button so that you'll be in the know for our next broadcast. As we had mentioned earlier, we are going to be having a reflections of yours type of segment in April, and we do cutscenes for all of the Final Fantasy XIV main scenario. That's A Realm Reborn, Heavensward, and Stormblood, with Mai not as a samurai but rather as a blue mage. Also in April, as mentioned, I will be doing a a Nocturne for Heroes with Noctis Calum and the crew from Final Fantasy XV. I'll be stopping by and also show you some of the stuff that you can also get from that event. That's going to be in April. Thus, without further ado, Gonna go ahead and bring in the background music, and we're gonna go ahead and show you the cutscenes from Four Lords, Chronicles of a New Era. Enjoy!
Perhaps we should turn him right side up.
Oh ho ho! A marvelous performance! Truly marvelous! But then you did best the Lord of the Rebel.
By the kami, a talking turtle.
I don't even know where to begin with that one.
I trust you will forgive me for my deception. It is something of a Far Eastern tradition, the testing of strength and so forth. A bit rote, perhaps, but anyway, welcome to Reizen Temple. I am Genbu, guardian of this sacred place, and leader of our little collective. Genbu, the selfsame Genbu, the Tale of Tencent, one of the Four Lords. Under normal circumstances, I would assume the name for the legendary being, but clearly this is anything but normal. Never in my wildest dreams did I think I would meet a talking turtle. Oh, but every one of us here can speak our tongue. Is it truly so surprising? After all, we each have lived more than 1,000 years.
I knew turtles were long-lived, but I had no idea that was even possible.
In this wondrous land of ours, it is said that a beast which lives 1,000 years attains a measure of divinity. This temple is a place where such auspices may gather. But take not my word for it. Speak with my comrades and learn their tales. We'll talk of the endeavor after.
We may as well do what he says. Besides, who knows what type of secrets some 1,000-year-old animals we know.
Humain, je vais libérer mon Aramitama. À vous d'apaiser mon âme.
Oops, I forgot to switch it back over to Japanese. I'll do that right now.
In another era that we first met, him and I. Long, long before the kingdom of Dora. I told you before of my past. I was shunned by man and beast alike. The snow-white fur that marked me as a harbinger of doom. Bereft of family and friendship, of home, I wandered the mountains in search of a place to call my own. There I would accept my fate and await the inevitable. But death did not come, for I was unlike my brothers in more respects than my fur. With every century I grew stronger and stranger, monstrous. In turn, few creatures dared traverse my domain, withdrew further and further. Never had I been so alone. Then one day, I awoke to find a man standing before me. Bewildered, I rose and bared my fangs as I roared in rage. Begone! I shall rend you asunder and feast on your flesh. What fool has the temerity to approach me thus? But the man did not flee. Rather, he stood his ground and said,
This fool is named Tenzin. Ever since he was a child, he spoke the language of beasts.
Then you know full well what you stand to lose. Return to your people or die. But Tenzin threw back his head and laughed.
They would kill me if I dared. For fear of my talents, I was banished. A harbinger of doom, they called me.
That instant, all my anger drained away. Tenzin's words had struck at the heart of me. He was a fellow outcast, cursed by his kin for his very nature. That night, as I listened to his snoring, I realized I had found in this man a kindred spirit. Soon after, we embarked on a journey together. In the days that followed, we met other solitary souls and aided them as we had aided each other. But those are tales for another time. I doubt very much you are willing to stand here in silence while I recount my every adventure with Tenzin. Come, let us return to the temple. Genbu is doubtless eager to learn the outcome of our battle. Now remember, Sorobot, once opened, the box will spew forth smoke. Remain still and let it wash off. Surrender to the magic and let it transform you into an awesomeness. And you are certain this will be temporary. As honored as I would be to join your ranks, I fear I am too young to be so old. Come, you lot. Let us retreat to a safer distance.
It's a fake! I knew it! Gosh, what a waste of time! Give me some drinks or something interesting inside!
Oh! Lord, it's urgent!
Ah! Was that really necessary? You got to ask me to move nicely. What's that look for? See something on my face? Oh, my face! My yellow face! It feels like alcohol in the sun!
Get a hold of yourself, child. I've been aged, nothing more. Be grateful you were not exposed longer, or you would have surely died.
I must be dead already. I can't bear to go on like this.
Did I not tell you before that the magic is fleeting? Be only into it for a moment. All will be as it was. Oh, preoccupied with the urchin, I completely forgot about Sorrow. I hope he has not been overexposed to the magic. If he's been aged to excess, his Aramitama may already be. Well, that answers that. On your guard. I'm afraid he means to kill us all. Bathed in the Tamate bug was magic far longer than the urchin. And so I expect he will not return to normal so quickly. In fact, I dare say he will retain this form long enough to destroy the temple if we do not submit to him. With me, my urchin. Hold on. Long ago, when I had lived 100 or so years, I had only just begun to become something more. I received my first vision, a terrible calamity, one that would claim the lives of countless innocents, was imminent. But what was the little turtle to do? For a while I had seen the future with crystal clarity. I was powerless to stop it. I could but look on, helpless, The cities burned and men died. So it was for centuries, until one day. After 500 years, I had grown stronger, more reckless. I believed I could make a difference. So when I foresaw a landslide that would bury a nearby village, I ventured forth to warn the people. Alas, though they were quick to discern I was no common animal, they could make no sense of my panicked wailings. To them I was a queer, dancing turtle, a source of considerable amusement, for I knew not the words of men, so my warnings fell on deaf ears. It would be no different, yet again they would die. The people turned and walked away, bored with the fleeting amusement. With a heart fit to burst with sorrow and despair, I made to quit the village. Just then, I heard a voice kind and gentle.
Little one, you look troubled. Tell me what brings you so.
Though I knew he was addressing me, I doubted he would understand. Still, I told him of my vision, of the landslide, who would bury the village, everyone in it, and my vain attempts to warn them.
Your kindness is only surpassed by your bravery. Fear not, I, Tenzin, and my comrade Gyaku act in your stead.
Tenzin drew his sword. A great white tiger emerged from the wilds.
Shall we give them a show?
He whispered to the beast, which inclined its massive head ever so slightly in response. They then ran to the center of the village and fight, as if they were bitter enemies intent on killing one another, blade and fang flashing, too fast for the eye to follow. The two broke apart for an instant, and Tenzin bellowed,
Hearken to me! This white demon thirsts for the blood of man. If you value your lives, flee this place. Seek shelter in the next village.
Needless to say, the bewildered villagers gathered up whatever was at hand and ran screaming, too terrified to even look back. As the three of us watched them go, I heard the white demon mutter, "You know full well I have not tasted that fish." The village was later destroyed in the landslide, as I had foreseen. But, for the first time, I had managed to make a difference.
How long have I been blinded by this dream? This ever-ending nightmare, unable to escape the memory of my beloved. I owe you an apology, brave warrior, as well as my life. In spite of the crude and disrespectful way I treated you, you nevertheless risked your life to free my heart from the terrible delusion which threatened to consume my soul. For the first time in centuries, I can reflect on my time with the man I so deeply loved, without being driven to tears. I was born into this world long, long ago, blessed with crimson plumage, that shone like blazing fire in the sun. My form was likened to that of the firebird of legend, being said to have the power to confer immortality upon mortal men. Thus was I pursued endlessly by those who yearned to conquer death. To them, to all mankind, I was no more than a means to an end. But Tenzin did not look upon me so. To him, I was so much more. He would become everything to me. Together we traveled, we four lords and the samurai. As comrades in arms, we journeyed the realm. Feared at first by many for our nature. But Tenzin, dear Tenzin, would not close his heart to the people's plight. Not once did he hesitate to offer a helping hand. One by one, he won over those who once cursed and condemned us. Be there Oni in the east to slay, or revenants in the west to exorcise. Without hesitation would he bid us rise to the challenge, and leave grateful men and women to spread word of our deeds, word which one day reached the ears of a king. It was for the king's order that we battled the man Auspice Koryu. Despite the many deeds to our credit, we four had only lived some few centuries, but no match for our foe. Against the might of Koryu's raging Aramitama, my brothers and I were powerless. Tenzin, brave Tenzin, would not be denied. The last, he unleashed a powerful technique, knowing full well that it would leave him exposed. I watched as the light left his eyes forever. I've been the Firebird of legend. I've been possessed with the power of immortality. I've been able to rescue him from death's obsidian abyss. Then, the cruelest irony of all, centuries later, finally went through the change. Immortality became mine to command. I can but wonder if my bottomless grief for my beloved made it so. The power for which I yearned so desperately that day is now mine. Not to save him, then perhaps to save those for whom Tenzin died. For the memory of my beloved, his legacy I shall fight. Let us go and tell Genbu together. And Mai, thank you.
Joke? It's a Firebird! No, it's an airship!
No, it's not a subversion. What is, in fact, Sorrow!
Some capacity, but not like this.
No one told me that this training would lead to such a radical transformation. Look at me! I'm a giant tortoise! A tortoise!
I was wrong. This is the very definition of running a joke into the ground.
There's no need for panic, Solomon. You probably just recited the words improperly, and offered your body as a vessel for a giant tortoise comedy. Oh, that seems to me like a very, very good reason for panic. Nonetheless, I will return to normal after a short while, like with the Tamate Bako of geomancy. Well, I cannot say with any significant degree of certainty, but you might regain your original form by the time my quells Seiyus are on top. Might! Might! What is this might? Might is not an acceptable answer! You must be exhausted by your battle from physical, my friend. Perhaps it would be best if you returned to the land above and took a rest.
That's right. I know we'll be near here for some time, and so wants to give me one more for company. I'll be sure to contact me if there is no sub. Bye.
I had been meaning to return home, only briefly, but given my current state, that seems unlikely. If you could go in my stead and tell the elder that I am hale and healthy, I would be most grateful.
You are every bit Tenzin's successor, for you are but the second child of man who are destined in battle. Once, I would have never thought it possible. When I was no more than a mere serpent, blessed with the good fortune to be born on an island where the people held us in the highest. To them, I was as common, and I was fortunate enough to share in their good. But when I had lived some few centuries and first began to manifest true powers, my worshippers came to view me in a different light. When they were visited by calamity, they mistook me as the cause. So, in place of traditional offerings, they brought me the flesh of their flesh. Though I had no hand in it, their fortunes improved. To them, the answer was clear. Only greater sacrifice would satisfy the guardian spirit. Little did they know, I had spared the maiden and spirited her away to another land in secret, as I would the others that would follow. Nevertheless, the belief lingered, and soon the guardian serpent came to be regarded as a malevolent demon, and my worshippers became my decriers. They tempted sellswords with koban to come and slay me, the poor fools. So began my days as a hunted kami. I dispatched them every time, though I took little joy in it. And then one day, a man unlike all the others appeared before me, a samurai in the company of beasts. Tenzin and I fought. He won. The fallen kami had at last been bested by a fortune-seeking hunter. I could not help but chuckle as I closed my eyes and awaited the inevitable blow. Join me. Let us begin anew. Saying this, he extended his hand to me. All that I was, all that I had ever been was no more. I had nothing. Yet not only did he see fit to spare me, but offer me a new home. But even a fallen kami has his pride. I could not readily accept such kindness.
asking if I yearn for it. Seeing this, Tenzin laughed. Then earn it by growing stronger and in turn using that strength to help others as you have been helped. Become more than you are, and more than me. Thus did I vow to devote myself to becoming an auspice worthy of man's worship and admiration, to become a magnificent dragon that would safeguard his chosen. Strange. My recollection now is not as it was before. Details once indistinct are now vivid and clear. Perhaps the Aramitama clouds my judgment. Thank you, Mai. Had you not helped me to remember my vow, I might have lost the chance to honor Tenzin's memory forever. Wait, where is Skinblue? Has he returned to the temple without us? This bodes ill.
Hold nothing in reserve. Summon all your strength. Only then can we hope to triumph over our god, brother. It worked. I can feel it. The wards are mended and strengthened.
No, even now, after everything we've endured, everything that has made us stronger, how can we fail?
Also burn!
Genbu? Genbu!
It will be impossible for us to be alone to fight them. We can hold them at bay for a time. Flee this place!
Fool! A hero you may be, but Koryu is an opponent none can defeat.
I killed you once before, Samurai. I will kill you again!
Sensen? Even as we can save without Genbu, we do not stand a chance.
Saruman, come away from them before you get hurt!
I do not act and our lives are forbidden. Ours and everyone else in the Ruby Sea!
Incorrectly before, when he summoned the time tortoise coming into his body. I see it now. He offers himself to Genbu. I can feel his presence returning. His justice, his own soul will be.
I would rather you not say it aloud, otherwise I would have said it. Believe me, I know the consequences, and I accept them. Farewell, my friends. And please look after Tamamizu.
Saruman!
Worry not, Saruman. We will not let it be for nothing.
That concludes the cutscenes for the Four Lords. Now we're gonna go close this broadcast by heading over to Raisin via Tamamizu. This is Raisin Temple, the staging area for the Four Lords. I'll show the people that are, well, the auspices that are here in this temple. This is Senri. He's a fat cat. This is Inugan. He's a Mamashima. This is the White Tiger, Byako. He's the boss of Jade Stoa and Jade Stoa Extreme. Kitsune is a fox kit. This is Koma Inu, which is a minion that you can also get from Jonathas after exchanging it for achievement certificates. Chitan Dasheng, the Monkey King, which is your final boss for the Swallow's Compass. This is Kamaitachi, which is apparently another minion that mine does not necessarily have yet. Seryu of the Wraith of Snakes, and the most difficult of the 3 trials bosses. Nue, a lesser panda. Tenzen's partner, Suzaku. And of course, the apparent overseer of the temple, Soraban. And that does it for this edition of the Misadventures. This special YouTube-only episode of the Four Lords. My name is Bongaboi Pangyatoy, the gift that keeps on giving. If you like what you see on this broadcast, please be sure to hit the subscribe button so that you'll be in the know for our next broadcast. There will be a series of broadcasts in April featuring cutscenes from the main scenarios, Final Fantasy XIV, A Realm Reborn, HEAVENSWARD, and STORMBLOOD, as well as a playthrough of A Nocturne for Heroes featuring Noctis Lucis Callum of Final Fantasy XV. On behalf of everyone at Jenova World, and everyone here in Yorzen Heidelin, may you ever walk in the light of the crystal. It's bye for now.